Is there anything to do in Philadelphia?
After spending an entire month docked right here downtown at Penn's Landing, we can assure you there's not.
Okay.
Staying on the path that I've chosen, straight up. Come my way and I'll see you at the top. 'Cause something's gonna happen in this story. And I can feel it coming, like the rising of the sun.
So yes, we have been here in Philadelphia at Penn's Landing Marina for a month, the entire month of May. And we did have a looper making the decision to come here or not, asked about conditions of the marina, and then asked us that question. Is there anything to do in Philadelphia?
Yeah, he asked me, is there anything to do if we go there? And I'm like, at that point, we've been here 2 weeks, and we are overwhelmed with things to do here in Philadelphia. This is actually now one of my most favorite cities and favorite stops on our loop. I can't believe every looper doesn't take the time, because it's only a day's side trip, to come up here, because Philadelphia is amazing.
I mean, I suppose if you're not into history, art, culture, shows, food, sports, water, hiking, running, biking, maybe you won't find something to do here in Philadelphia. But if you like even one of those things, you are in for a treat. So yeah, we hit the ground running, literally sometimes, when we got here and went to our first show. We saw Bat Out of Hell at one of the theaters on Broad Street.
Touring musical, and just kind of like the big picture of Philadelphia. There's so many theaters. It's kind of like New York Junior. It's like second to Broadway. It's just so many live theaters here. There's so many venues of all sorts. So many great museums. And then when it comes to history, this is basically where U.S. history was made. Everything happened just a few blocks from the marina. So
I mean the room where it happened. Yeah. It's right there.
Yes. So we've been filling our time trying to see as much as we can, and we feel like even in a month we've barely scratched the surface.
I know, and it would be so tempting to extend here for another month if we didn't have a short cruising season wrapping up here in just 6 weeks. So we need to move on, or else I would be we're doing June here too.
Yeah. So it would be so easy to extend for another month, because the monthly rate here is great too. But we'll talk about the marina in a second. Want to talk about what we did first?
Yeah. So first of all, we'll talk about all the theaters. So we did a musical. Went to the Symphony multiple times at the Kimmel Center. We caught a show at the Arden. We caught one at the Walnut Theater and one at the Forest, as well as we caught a burlesque over at Fabrica. So such a variety. Oh, there's even like a theater like right there at the Seacoast Museum that we went to last night to catch the Gay Men's
Philadelphia Gay Men's Chorus, which is an amazing show. So we've been full of events and theater type things like that. One of the coolest to be here for this is the year of the 250th anniversary. We got to see 1776 the musical in a theater that Thomas Jefferson actually saw a play in. So like the oldest theater in the country with a musical about the founding of our country. So cool to have all of that. Right. And again, walking distance right out there.
Right. Museums. If you like museums, you will not be bored here. Of course, you've got to start with doing the History Museum. So Independence Hall, that is the room where it happened.
Take the tour of Independence Hall. You have to do it. It is...
We did the extended tour trick there. As you go online, I think 5 p.m. the night before you want to go, and you can get tickets. They're $1, but they only do one extended tour a day. That gets you to the upper floor as well.
But the regular tour gets you to basically the critical rooms. You see the chair George Washington sat in while he presided over the literal birth of our nation. So you get chills being there.
Oh yes. And then the Liberty Bell is right across the street. We did the U.S. Mint, which is right there as well. And then the National Constitution Center is across the campus. We never got there. They were unfortunately closed the morning that we made the effort
for a special event. Yes.
But oh well.
But so much of the old history museums. Oh, and the Ben Franklin Museum too. That was another highlight. Is this is kind of hidden in this little alcove where Ben Franklin's house used to be, and they carved out underground and made this really cool museum about Ben Franklin, who basically is the most amazing person ever and who invented everything. So anything you think of, Ben Franklin probably had his hands in it. He even invented kite surfing. I mean, this guy did everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. You get so inspired being here. We did some of the other museums around. The Philadelphia's Magic Garden down on South Street,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
just like right there. Amazing. I mean, it's mosaic gone crazy by an artist.
Amazing genius artist. And then speaking of genius artists, the Philadelphia Art Museum is probably one of the definitive art museums in the country and the world. And it's also the Rocky Steps, run up the steps of the art museum. I did this morning. On my final run in Philadelphia, I went and did the Rocky run and went to the top of the steps. So, I mean, it's an amazing art museum, and you cannot even begin to soak it in. Just pick a small section of it and spend a few hours, and don't even try to do it all, because it's huge. And
and if you don't get enough art out of the art museum, there's also the Barnes, which is a private collection. There's the Rodin as well, and there's all sorts of that whole area, a whole bunch. We never got to the Franklin Institute and some of the other stuff over there. There's so much to do. We got to the Mutter Museum, which is a really unique medical museum of like actual human body parts from the 1800s. So that was really unique to do and kind of
very
bizarre.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah. What else did we do? Gosh,
the Penn Museum is the very first American anthropological expedition set out from Penn University to go do excavations of the cradle of civilization. So from the cradle of America to the cradle of civilization in Iran and Iraq, and they discovered all these amazing things and that are on display here. So you got like going to the Penn Museum makes all the rest of Philadelphia feel brand new. Normally, Philadelphia just feels like such a great old city. You go there, it's like, 5,000 years old. Okay,
So that was awesome to do. Going up City Hall, which is the center of the downtown area.
Yes.
Old building, masonry style that they've preserved, and there's still actively City Hall and the branch of government here in Philadelphia.
And when it was built, it was the tallest occupied building on Earth. They have to say occupied because while it was under construction, the Eiffel Tower and the Washington Monument went higher, but those were just like observation platforms. This was a full-on building, and you can go up the tower of City Hall and get dramatic, amazing views.
Yep, only 4 people at a time. You have to get your tour tickets in advance to do that super tiny cool elevator. But yeah, the views are amazing. If you pick a great day, you can just see all around Philadelphia.
Right at the base of the statue of William Penn. Yes. Super cool.
We also did go across the Ben Franklin Bridge, which is like the most amazing bridge.
Yeah, it was the longest bridge in the world when it opened in 1926, 100 years ago. And it is a multimodal bridge with cars, trains, and amazing pedestrian/bike lanes right across the top. That makes it an easy bike ride over to Camden, where there's the Adventure Aquarium, which was actually pretty cool. They have hippos, and the hippos are hungry hippos. And
they don't eat marbles, though.
They don't eat marbles. I did not know. But the hippos were amazing. And then just down from that is the Battleship New Jersey, the most decorated warship of World War II. I guess they used to put garlands on it, or I don't know how they decorated it, because we couldn't actually go to the museum to learn the history of that.
Yes, it was closed down the last 2 weeks of our stay because Paramount is filming a movie aboard it.
Yep.
So we've been out watching a film set right across the way. This is all in view. We got the bridge over here.
We got the New Jersey over there. And 2 days ago, they had a helicopter with motorcycles hanging off the side of it, doing zooming low passes and landing on the carrier, and you could zoom with binoculars and see all people in uniform, actors. I actually was able to look up the casting call for extras to be on this. It seems like they're filming The Quiet Place 3, so a sequel to that sci-fi post-apocalyptic series is being filmed literally right out there. So, wow, cool.
The museum right here. So you can see the Olympia behind us. That was Admiral Dewey's
flagship in the Spanish-American War. It completely dominated, put America on the world stage.
Yeah. So you got the Independent Seaport Museum right here at Penn's Landing. So you can go tour that, and then you can get aboard the boat here, as well as there is a submarine that you can get aboard as well. So basically, you won't go bored in Philadelphia. I think we got to 18 different museum-y sort of things during our month here, which is a lot for the brain to take in.
Yes.
Dining and food here. I mean, you walk out here.
It's a foodie city. Yeah.
There is amazing food everywhere. I can't say we walked away with a favorite restaurant, but my favorite thing about it was that as we're walking around town, we say, hey, I'm in the mood for Ethiopian today, or
Indian, or Italian, or Italian. And we even challenged, Cherie's we're in Philadelphia, I want to have a cheesesteak, but she's vegetarian, gluten-free, and I found vegetarian, gluten-free cheesesteak options.
I actually found that. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, you put a challenge out there, you could probably find it here in Philly, because it is such a diverse community. A lot of ethnicities here. And the vibe here is just, everyone is so friendly.
Yeah.
Never once, you're in a big city, you kind of like, do you need to be on the watch? And we never once felt anything.
People say keep your head on a swivel. That's your head's on a swivel because there's so much cool stuff to see.
And watch out for the cobblestones and the sidewalks, tripping on them.
But this is probably one of the most walkable and pedestrian-friendly cities I've ever been in. So it's very easy to get around on foot. There is also great public transit. The bus system is quite reliable and full of friendly people. And the great bus system's good.
Just tap with your phone.
Yeah, you don't even need a pass or anything. It's your phone or your watch. Just tap, you're on, you're good. And then the city's got an incredible, really, really well done network of bike lanes so you can get pretty much everywhere on bike lanes.
Yep. So there's a bike highway that goes right along Christopher Columbus here, and then like Spruce and Pine are direct bike lanes into town. Market and Spring Meadow as well.
Yeah, Spring Garden,
whatever.
Yeah, so there's they've done a lot of work on making great bike access, and particularly for provisioning and stuff. This other thing I'm really impressed. A lot of cities don't have great shopping inside the city. You've got to there's groceries are hard to get sometimes. Here we've got, just on this bike highway, we got a Sprouts just a mile and a half that way, a Giant Market and a Walmart just a mile and a half that way.
In town, you got 2 Trader Joe's and a Whole Foods, an Acme. And there's
groceries so easy to get,
all within a mile or 2 away. So easy access, especially on a bike. And of course, you can do grocery delivery as well. And then there's like normal shopping. You can do like downtown. There's just all sorts of
everything.
There's a mall.
Everything is here. It's a very thriving, vibrant downtown.
A lot of people live downtown. We saw a lot of families out with kids strolling. So a lot of age diversity as well.
Yeah,
so
the city has incredible vibes. Kudos to Philadelphia. They've been doing great work on this city. So love it. Fell in love completely.
Absolutely. Philly, we have had a fabulous time here. Now, about Penn's Landing.
This marina in Penn's Landing is the heart of, it's basically the only place for cruising
for
boats transients to stay easily. Especially but you're in the heart of downtown.
Yeah, the location is fabulous. The dockmaster here is fabulous. You are on a 7-foot tidal swing here, and the marina is silted in. So at low tide, you could quite likely be sitting in soft mud, which means the
water's about 2 feet deep. So our keel is in the mud.
No air conditioner use during low tide. So that is something to keep in mind. Also, your arrival, you want to be arriving at the higher end of tide to be able to get in and out of here, as well as departure. So those are things to keep in mind. The dockmasters, they don't push you out in the morning or anything like that. In fact, we're past our 11 a.m. checkout because we're waiting for high tide.
Yeah, but they hopefully will dredge again sometime at some point, but it just fills in again. It seems like it's a constant, never-ending battle to keep this marina dredged.
The next downside of the marina, there is no pump out here or anywhere close to here. Philadelphia has no pump out system, no pump out boats. I don't know how they got away with that. There's a Coast Guard station right down there. I don't know how that is legally possible for them to not offer pump out when they have long-term seasonal residents staying here, as well as down the way at Pier 3 and 5. They also don't have pump out. So I don't know how they get away with that.
Well, I can guess how some people get away with it. But fortunately for us, we have a composting toilet, so we've been able to make our month last without having to use our traditional tanks and need a pump out. So
there is public bathhouses way over there. It's about a half-mile walk and back.
Yes. And they're only open from 8 a.m. until like 10 p.m. or something. So you have... I've been using the shore facilities as much as I can, but the lack of pump out is a challenge. So keep that in mind if you do come here.
So come with
empty
tanks for your stay, and plan to pump out. We have been told for a boat our size, maybe at Anchorage Marina, maybe at George Harbor, maybe at Delaware City, maybe at Cape May.
Very strong lack of pump out in this area.
Yeah. So again, we have a composting toilet, not an issue for us. The other downside, you see that big, beautiful Mashulu boat. That is the oldest, four-masted sailing.
Oldest, largest steel four-masted true sailing vessel still in existence. It was built in 1906 or 1908 and was in service until 1939, doing amazing things, cruising grain between Australia and Europe. I mean, this boat is super cool and beautiful. And
It
it's
is-
now a nightclub and a restaurant.
Yes, the restaurant, no problem. The nightclub, however, can be an issue
Well-
if you are a light sleeper.
Sound comes right across. The speakers are basically facing the marina. And at night they can be very loud. So you get free access to all the parties going on there. The catch is you have to stay until closing time. So
Or be out.
Yeah, 2 in the morning on the weekends.
Yeah,
So
so they pretty much their weekend schedule is 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So we got to practice our Burning Man sleeping methods to sleep to loud music
Yeah.
around here. But it's the random events that go on. Like right now, there's a hosted party going over there, and there's music wafting over. Hopefully,
not too loud.
Hopefully the microphones are not picking it up. We had one on a Monday afternoon. A wedding party was over there with probably the loudest music.
But louder than the nightclub. They had it cranked from 3 to 5 on a Monday afternoon. It was a work day for us. And yeah, so you do have to keep that in mind, that you can be blasted out a little bit by the Mashulu. But other than those few hours, it is just normally, it's like, wow, you're looking at this incredibly beautiful ship right out your windows.
So don't come to Philly for quiet.
No.
It is not a peaceful spot. It is a very active, vibrant experience. So anyway, that is, I think, a decent wrap-up. I'm sure I could go on and babble more and more.
Oh,
on top of all the touring, we had an active social life here. We have several friends who live in the area, so we spent a lot of time with friends. We met some of our YouTube followers who stopped in.
They reached out and said, hey, we're in the area or passing through, so we had some really nice meetups. So, love it when people do that. So that was awesome. And, God, it's just like this month. We did a lot of work. And, this has been like such a full, abundant, and we did a lot of running and biking and fitness. Very full, abundant month. I can't say enough good things about Philadelphia. And come here by boat. If you're out there cruising anywhere on the loop or anywhere in this area, come to Philadelphia. It is so worth it.
It is worth the side trip up the Delaware River to do so. It is a about 4 or 5 hour cruise up from the C&D Canal to get here. So it is a diversion, but we think it's really worthwhile. So anyway.
Well, we are now, tide's rising, and we're going to be riding the current out and heading towards Cape May. So
it looks like we've got a good weather window to get to Cape May. It's going to be about a 2-day cruise for us to get down there. And then we'll wait out there for our next weather window to make our way up to...
Start going north towards New York. So exciting season ahead. It's going to be short season, but this is already a highlight. This has got to be one of the best stops we've made, period. Love it. Love you, Philadelphia.
Thank you, Philly.
Thank you, Philadelphia.
City of love.
Yes. Take care.
We create these videos just for fun, and we love having you along for the ride. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, or if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.